Hey y'all, welcome to Cooking with Miss Holt. Today we are going to make pumpkin bread. Now when my daughter was little, she would not eat breakfast hardly at all. She's an adult now, but when she was little, the only thing that she would eat was this pumpkin bread. Now this pumpkin bread recipe is not in my current scholarship cookbook. It's in my first cookbook, which is out of print, and I'm gonna get all the scholarship cookbooks sold first, and we're gonna finish that project out, those cookbooks should take us through Christmas, and then I'll probably have that one reprinted after Christmas. But anyway, I'm gonna post the recipe so you'll have it anyway, but it will make your house smell so good, and it makes 2 loaves. So if you want to make one, freeze one, make one, give one to a neighbor, you can do whatever. So anyway, before we get started, I'm going to show you this. This is my little vintage towel. I think I've got my flowers sitting on it today, but it's made by a company. It's from the 1940s or 50s, and it's made by a company called Startex, and Startex. And the towel's called Wonder Dry. Y'all, I just love this towel. It's got the cutest little design on it, and I'm just a big fan of anything vintage. And anyway, I just thought I would tell you that before I started, that I just love this little towel. Okay, all right, let me get my flour back on here. Now, one good thing about this, y'all, this is just a dump it in the bowl and mix it kind of thing, okay? And it's really quick, so let's get started. Okay, in my bowl, there's 3 cups of sugar, but keep in mind, this makes 2 loaves. So, and to that, we're gonna add 4 eggs, a cup of oil, and I use canola oil. I'm not a big fan of just vegetable oil. I don't think you could use olive oil. I think it would be too heavy. But anyway, this is canola oil. Okay, in here I have 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cloves, or you could put a 1/2 teaspoon, 1/4 to a 1/2, because you're gonna make 2 loaves, so it's up to you. But I really like cloves, and if you haven't seen ground cloves, this is what they look like. They're kind of a dark, and you can get cloves whole, but this is the ones ground up. Cloves are the things that you put in a ham, you know, at Christmas, you stick them in the top and all that. But anyway, and I'm gonna put the recipe in the comments, so don't worry. But this is salt, soda, cinnamon, and cloves. So I'm gonna put that in there. Now, this is nutmeg, and if you saw, I did a video the other day where I said it's better to use nutmeg whole, and you just buy them in a jar, and this is what they look like. Looks like a little pecan, sorta. And I'm just gonna take it, and this is a microplane. It slides in and out like that, sort of about the size of a ruler, but these teeth are really sharp, so be really careful with that. Anyway, about a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, and you can just eyeball it, and you just tap it on your bowl right there. So, you know, just a little to kind of give it some of that fall warm flavor, and it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, all right, I'm gonna beat this up, and then I will be right back. Okay, y'all, we've got that beaten up now, and I forgot to say in the first part, it does take 2/3 of a cup of water, which I put in there. So it's kind of soupy right now, but I put that in there while I was beating up. So the sugar and the oil and eggs and spices. So I got that beaten in there. All right, so now we're gonna put our pumpkin, and I like Libby's, and I know there's a lot of brands that you can get, but I've tried a lot of different ones, and this is the one I always come back to, so I really like it. But it's just Libby's pumpkin, and this is, I think it's about a 15-ounce can. Yeah, 15-ounce can. So you just want to put this in here. It's going to take all of it, because remember, we're making 2 loaves of bread. So we just want to get all this in here. Y'all, it has turned cool in Georgia. We've probably dropped 20 degrees in the last 2 days. So it's just the beginning of September, but we've had a drastic change in temperature here. Okay. All right, and so now I'm gonna beat that up. And you can see it's a thin batter. And so now we're gonna add our flour, and I got my White Lily all-purpose flour right here. And I've already got it measured out, so it's 3.5 cups. So we're just gonna very carefully put this in here. And then I'm gonna stir this up. Now this makes 2 loaves, and I will tell you that I have 1 metal loaf pan buttered, and I have a glass loaf pan buttered. And let me go ahead and beat this up, and then I will come back and I will show you what this looks like, and I will show you what the pans look like, and sort of a little trick that I use, and you may already know about it and you may already do it, but I'll show you what I do that kind of makes it a little special. Okay, y'all, this is what it looks like when you get it beat up. And I'm gonna kind of scrape down my bowl right there, but you can kind of see the consistency of it. It's just like cake batter. I mean, that's really what it is. But that's the kind of consistency that you want. It's just like that. Now, this is what's called a quick bread. Pumpkin bread and zucchini bread, those types of things, are what's called a quick bread, meaning that you mix it up quick. It doesn't take time to rise, not like a yeasted bread where it has to rise for hours and hours and you punch it down and it rises again. This is what it says, it's a quick bread. And in quick breads, don't beat them too much or stir them too much because they'll get tough. Now, like I said, I have 2 pans right here. I have a glass one, I have a glass loaf pan, and then I have a metal Calphalon non-stick pan. So now I like to sprinkle the inside of my pans with sugar. It makes them crunchy on the outside later when it cools, and I do the same thing with banana bread. Now you can mix some cinnamon with the sugar and sprinkle cinnamon sugar on the outside, which is really good, or you can do neither of those and you can just butter it and pour the batter in. So I'm gonna pour these up, I'm gonna bake them, and then I'll come back later and let you see what it looks like. Also, I will say about the cinnamon, if you can get something called Saigon cinnamon, I think it's S-A-I-G-O-N, it's a type of cinnamon. It's super good, it's strong, it only takes a little bit of it, so it'll last for a long time because you don't use very much. That's such a good cinnamon to use in everything in the fall. So let me get this poured up and baked, and it's going to take about an hour. I'd say 50 minutes to an hour. Start checking it at 45, but it'll take about 50 minutes to an hour on 325. And anytime I bake in dark nonstick or glass, I turn it down to 325 because if not, it'll burn. So let me get these baked and I'll tell you how long it took later on. Okay, y'all, the pumpkin bread is out of the oven, and you can kind of see that it is going to dome up in the middle a little bit there, but it'll settle once it cools. And you can kind of tell the difference between the glass and the metal pan. It's a little bit different, not a lot. But anyway, it took about an hour on 325. So I would say minimum an hour. But it'll be, you know, different based on the size of your pan and your oven and different things. So I'm going to let it cool. I just took it out about 2 minutes ago. So I'll let it cool and then I'll show you a picture of what it looks like later when it comes out and we can slice it. Okay, y'all, our pumpkin bread is out of the oven and it's still warm, but you can kind of see what the sides look like and what the top and the end look like. And let me put this down and I will cut a slice and you can see the inside. Okay, there you can see what it looks like on the inside, and here's the inside when it's cut. So I hope you've enjoyed this today, and I hope you bake one for yourself and one to give a neighbor, and just enjoy this little kickoff to fall, and I will see you soon.